My Spidey sense is tingling.
I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is fucking awesome.
Hey guys, Rico Fabulous here. As you can see, I have my camera or my phone attached to my steering wheel, so this might end up being a very washing machine-like ride. First time I've ever tried anything like this, so I wonder how it's going to come out. Today I am starting a new segment, or rebranding an old segment. My flea market hauls I'm going to start calling Spidey Cents, and that's C-E-N-T-S, like, you know, change, dollar bill, y'all. So, you know, I googled it to make sure I wasn't stealing anybody's thunder, and I didn't come up with the concept of Spidey Cents or the term, but I don't see anybody else on YouTube doing this, so I'm gonna take it. Trademark that shit. So today, I am on my way to the Goodwill store. Now, I've never, ever in my life have been to a Goodwill store, and I got the idea from 123 Comic Man, because that dude seems to find like everything at the Goodwill store, and for cheap. So, my first priority, of course, is to think of others. So I'm going to donate some things that we got for Christmas that we just can't seem to find space for in our lives. But, you know, while I'm there, I might as well take a peek to see if I can come upon any treasures. So, as always, I'm sticking to a budget, and mine is always very low. And my starting point is $10. So I'm gonna go in there with that budget, and if I don't come away with anything or much, it's okay, because I'm planning on going to my normal flea market tomorrow, and there at least I know that I can count on my normal comic book guy who gives me, you know, 12 for $5. So worst case scenario, I'm gonna come away with some cool comic books that way. So, I don't know, this is pretty fun. I'm kind of enjoying just driving here and rambling, multitasking, trying to talk and drive at the same time. Not that that's difficult, but you know, I did my best to try to look poor today. I'm wearing last season's fashions, which normally I wouldn't be caught dead with, but you know, I want to blend in with the Goodwill crowd as much as I can. Man, if you guys haven't picked up on my sarcasm yet, then you probably think that I'm like the biggest asshole ever. Obviously, if I was that snobby, I wouldn't be, you know, crying poor in all my videos, saying that I only have $10 to spend on comic books or whatever I find. So anyways, I'm going to stop it here. Not sure if I'm going to be filming inside the Goodwill, because I don't know, although I find it cool to get like an inside view of people's, you know, comic book stores and where they shop, I just don't feel comfortable whipping it out in my hometown. So you might just have to use your imaginations, or maybe I'll find some creative way to recreate the experience. So anyways, see you on the other end. And on the other end, I will show you what I got at the flea market as well. Bye!
Goodwill, poppin' tags, yeah.
Well guys, I struck out. Number one, they didn't take all of my donations, because apparently the Goodwill hates toys, which I don't understand, because I feel like if a place like that sold toys, they'd probably get more business. So I don't really understand the rationale behind that. And they were like brand new toys too, they weren't used or anything. And secondly, they didn't have anything I wanted. It was mostly clothes, which, you know, is to be expected. All their electronics were like pieces of used stereo equipment that nobody wants, or, you know, is pretty defunct nowadays. There wasn't a comic book to be seen. Not even like a graphic novel or anything, a lot of like books with words in it and no pictures, which, you know, who wants that? Some video games, but they were newer. They had they did have like Call of Duty Black Ops, which I used to own and I traded in, but I could have got it for like $4 again, but I opened up the cases and they were empty, so I'm assuming that somebody stole them. Which, you know, if you're stealing from Goodwill, you got to be a pretty crummy person. And a genius. And then other than that, like the only thing that kind of caught my eye and I, you know, considered maybe buying for like a split second was some old Sailor Moon VHSs. But, you know, I didn't want to go through the... Number one, I don't have a VCR hooked up anymore. Because, you know, I don't live in the 90s. And, if I'm going to go through the trouble of, like... It's basically, it's not worth the trouble, you know, converting them to DVDs. And you only get, like, 2 episodes per cassette. So it's like, why even bother? I'd rather just spring the money and get some bootleg DVDs that have all the entire collection or something. Don't even think about trying to get the entire like legit series of Sailor Moon on DVD. Those that are out of print are like $150 for like the first set. So it's a little ridiculous. So anyways, like I said, I still have the flea market tomorrow, so I'm definitely guaranteed to come away with something there. So I'll see you then. Bye. Alright, good morning everybody. As you can see, it's a brand new day because I am wearing glasses, and that was different from yesterday. So I'm making my way down to Raynham, Massachusetts, where they have a weekly flea market. The weather isn't as good as I hoped it would be. Maybe it's going to improve later, but right now it's a little wet and drizzly, and that kind of sucks because the main guy that I check out, the guy who gives me 12 books for $5, is an outdoor vendor, and I don't really know what if he has a contingency plan, because they do have a giant indoor arena as well, but that's a little more staked out than the outdoor stuff. So hopefully he does have a backup plan. Or I mean, it's not horrible right now, but I mean, when you're dealing with comic books, you can't really expose them to the elements, as you all know. So we'll see how it goes. At the very least, I know there's another comic guy that I like to go to down there. He's more of a stick to the Overstreet price guide kind of guy, though. I mean, he says he grades them and then marks them at that price, and then we'll give you 40% off on top of that. So if that's true, then you still get a good deal, but you know, it's not a 40-cent per book deal. But then again, he also has better comics. So we'll see how it goes. There's always some random people that show up with comic books, or who knows, maybe I won't even get a comic. Maybe I'll get a toy or a video game or something. But you know, that's part of the fun of going to these flea markets, is you never know what you're gonna get. Sorry, I kind of had a blind spot there, so I had to strain my neck to see what was going on. But yeah, let's see how today goes. Pretty excited. Alright guys, hopefully this is still recording. Kind of have all the buttons in the screen taped up, so I don't know if I accidentally hit something. So, leaving the flea market now. My initial feeling is I feel like I got some really good deals and then maybe not so good deals. For one thing, I doubled my budget. I ended up spending $20 instead of $10, which I did get approval to do so beforehand. So that's not what's really bothering me. But towards the end, I felt like I kind of pressured myself into making a big purchase, and I don't know if I'm like super excited about it. So I guess I'll let you guys be the judge of how well I did, and I'll totally be upfront with my prices and what I paid. So I'm not one to shy away from telling the truth. But anyways, I'll do that when I get home. And I'll set up the nice camera, do a usual haul presentation, and hopefully you guys can make me feel better about it. So I'll see you in a bit. Hey everybody, so here are the fruits of my labor. Now the first guy that I bought from is usually someone that I don't really have any transactions with. That's because number one, he has a ton of real estate, but it's completely disorganized. Like, we're talking about boxes upon boxes, and you can't really maneuver around without him just like shifting things around, and other things are just, you can't browse, and even he doesn't have like full access to it. He's just a pack rat. And then on top of that, his prices are usually completely unreasonable. Case in point, he was trying to sell a Generation 1 Omega Supreme Transformers figure, pieces of it, not even anywhere near complete, and he was still asking for like $35 or $50, just completely crazy, especially at a flea market. So, but this time I noticed he had a new box of comics laying on the ground, and I asked to take a look, and here's what I came away with. So, I bought ROBOCOP #1, based on the major motion picture. And this is one of the ones that I know has no true value other than to myself, because I'm a huge RoboCop fan. Love RoboCop, so excited to get that. I got it for $1. And normally I would try to haggle that like for less, but given the situation I was in that I just explained, I didn't think I could probably get it for less. Then I got the Infinity Gauntlet #1. And I already own one of these, but I figured I'd pick up another one because, again, this was only $1. And it seems like with the Avengers 2 movie coming out, you know, being based on Thanos, and I think this storyline, the value seems to be increasing. So I figured I'd grab another copy. Then from the same guy, I picked up Batman #442, the first appearance of Tim Drake as Robin. And I also got this for $1. And then finally from that guy, I got Batman #405, which is Year 1 Part 2, the Frank Miller storyline. So this one was a little higher priced. The original price on the bag said $15, so he said that he wouldn't let it go for any less than $5. And again, you know, if I didn't already know where he was coming from with his prices, I would have tried to haggle it down even more. But I took a look at it. This and all the books I just showed you were in really great condition. I would argue they're near mint, but if I was going to give a conservative estimate, I'd say they're very fine. So, you know, this book at very fine for $5 is still a steal. So, really excited to get this book. Then I looked around some more. At this point, I was down to like my last $11. And I went to the other comic guy I mentioned that has the Overstreet Price Guide and is like the main comic guy down there. So I picked up Amazing Spider-Man #361, and if you've seen my my earlier vids, you know that I already have 2 copies of this. And I saw this and I noticed that it was marked for $1, so I'm like, alright, something's up with this, but I didn't make the effort to check it out. And in hindsight, I opened it up after I bought it, and it turns out that this is a second printing. But apparently there's still some value in this second printing, at least according to comicbookrealm.com. And I'll get to that in a second. So at first I was annoyed, but you know, after checking that out, it made me feel better. And then last but not least, I really struggled when I picked out this comic just because it ate up half of my budget. And when I was with the last guy, I was struggling whether I wanted to buy a few lesser priced comics or, you know, one major comic. And I ended up going with the major comic, and you can tell me if you think I made the right decision or not. But I walked away with Tales of Suspense, number 88. Now, my major issues with this comic is that he had a better grade available, but the way it works is that he writes an original price on the comic, and then he tells you it's like he'll give you at least 40% off that. So there was a better grade of this available that he marked for 24. I tried to get it for 11, but he said he wouldn't go less than 13, so I was out of luck. This one was originally priced at 19, and I had him combine this and that Spider-Man for $11. So basically I got this for 10 bucks. I'm not a professional grader, but I would say that this is in the fine, very good range. It has, it has spine stresses up and down, and creases in a few spots all around there. The major issue that I had with it is that the colors are a little dull to my liking, and in the yellow areas you can actually see through into the image on the back side of this page. So I'm not really sure what causes that, guys. It almost looks greasy in a way. So if you guys know what happens, is it something that just normally happens with, over time with these older books, if they're not like kept in, pristine condition, or what it is. But anyways, I looked it up and I'm still happy with this purchase. The other alternative I was looking at was buying a Detective Comics number 457, I think, and I didn't give that one a close look, but on face value, it looked like to be in pretty good shape. It's actually something that I would probably go back and get, and that was priced at $6, and I'm not sure if he was doing the 40% off. So, but basically, I would have gotten that for $4. Then I would have picked up a couple more Amazing Spider-Mans, newer ones in the 600s that had some covers of Mary Jane that I liked, and then walked away with $5 in my pocket. So, I don't know. I guess I'll have to wait and listen to your comments below to see if you think I made the right decision or not. But yeah, that spells the end of my trip to the flea market. Used up all of my budget, and now this is the moment where I do my American Pickers type of thing, and I show you what I spent, what comicbookrealm.com values them at, and then what my profit was. So here we go. So we had ROBOCOP number 1 at Very Fine, was valued at $3.40, spent $1, so I made a profit of $2.40. We got Infinity Gauntlet number 1, Very Fine, valued at $6.80, spent $1, so I made a $5.80 profit. Then we had Batman 442, Very Fine, valued at $3.40, spent $1, made plus $2.40. And then Batman 405, Very Fine, valued at $17, spent $5, made $12. Amazing Spider-Man number 361, second printing, Very Fine, valued at $6.80, spent $1, made a $5.80 profit. And Tales of Suspense number 88, very good copy, valued at $13.50, spent $10, made a $3.50 profit. So overall, I made $30.90 worth of profit if you subtract the $1 admission fee. So guys, that's the end of Spidey Cents number 1. Sorry this video ran kind of long. I usually like to keep my videos short and sweet, so if you think I should switch up the format and maybe not do as much in the car stuff or anything, let me know, and I'll make an adjustment for the next time. But as always, appreciate the views, love going to the flea market. I try to do it more often, but at the very least I'll get out there once a month. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Bye.